Hey everyone, I'm Michelle. Welcome to CroAsianTV, and today is another Croatian Real Talk episode, and it's more of a rant actually. I've been kind of debating with myself whether I should make this video or not, because my rant is about Koreaboos, and my opinion, I think, is a little bit unpopular among the K-pop fandom as a whole, so please just hear me out. Before I get into that whole video, just a quick update. Me and Laila have finally finished our exams, and we'll have time to do more reactions, so please comment down below stuff you want us to react to and we'll get to it. Just for the person that requested us to do TF Boys Adore, we did do an actual reaction to it, but we're having a bit of trouble uploading it because it's been blocked worldwide. Apparently that's what it says when we try to upload it, and they're not letting us for copyright reasons, even though we do disclaimers and stuff. It's just not letting us. So we're going to try and increase the, what's it called? Oh yeah, increase the pitch, and hopefully that will work. But if not, I'm truly sorry. It was like, we enjoyed the video. The reaction was great, so I'm sad, but that's okay. It's out of our control. Also, just to let you all know, our MV reactions, Laila and I have actually did a few MV reactions a few weeks ago during the exam period. It was around when Blood, Sweat and Tears, BTS, they just released their video, so we did like GOT7, all those reactions. They'll be uploaded sometime in the next few weeks. We'll probably do like 2 a week, something like that, until Laila and I get to meet each other again and do more reactions. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all I had to update you all on. But anyway, back to the video. Okay, so I have not planned out what I'm going to say, so apologies if it's a bit all over the place, but I really need to rant about this because I feel like it's something that the term itself can cause a lot of people are kind of misguided on what exactly a Koreaboo is, and therefore their response or what they feel about Koreaboos differs. Now, I know the general term Koreaboo is a negative one, and for the most part, the behavior of a Koreaboo is negative, but I feel like everything a Koreaboo does should be hated, and not everything a Koreaboo seems to do should be labeled as someone that is a Koreaboo. I probably haven't make no sense whatsoever right now, but I'm going to go into some explanations. Firstly, I googled what is a Koreaboo first to look at actual definitions. When I first googled it, it came up with K-pop dictionary, but I think that's a Tumblr thing, not sure, but it says a non-Korean person who is overly obsessed with Korean pop culture, generally to the point of vocalizing their desires to be reborn as Korean or make themselves seem more Korean, either physically or by adopting mannerisms and speaking habits. Okay, so that's fair enough. I think most of us can agree that that's what a Koreaboo is. However, I don't agree with all of that, and I want you to be open-minded and just hear me out. Firstly, I don't think it's wrong for a person to express their love of an interest, no matter what it is. If they're passionate about something, obviously they're going to show it or talk about it or express their love of that a lot towards a lot of people, whether they know them or not. Like, the question is, where's the line? Where is the line that goes from, you know, someone who is like dedicated and passionate, and then goes into someone who's like really badly obsessed, like Koreaboo / Sasang level? That's actually another good question. Koreaboo versus Sasang. Okay, don't worry, that's something else. See, I've lost my train of thought already. This was a bad idea. People who want to express their love of Korean culture, I think that's pretty cool. But I think it only becomes a problem when you're expressing that to people who you don't like. So like people you don't know, like strangers, or if you have friends that have told you that they find that annoying and they don't like when you do that, you should just respect them, because not everyone should have to share the same interests as you. And that's okay. But that doesn't mean you have to force down their throat how amazing K-pop is, which, you know, if you love K-pop, you know how amazing it is, but you don't have to force that down other people's throats and just expect them to love K-pop just because you love K-pop, or any type of Korean entertainment aspect like movies and whatever. I find that's like the only problem when it comes to vocalizing what you like. That's it. When it comes to, what else did it say? To make them more Korean. Okay, here is what I'm gonna say. It's the whole appreciation versus appropriation debate that I'm sure everyone that is familiar with the Koreaboo topic know about. But pretty much knowing the difference between just appreciating another culture and then trying to be something that you're not, and also at the same time kind of being low-key racist also, kind of, I think, yes. If, like, of course it's okay to love another culture and it's amazing to try and learn about another culture, but if you're literally basing your knowledge of another culture based on K-pop or K-movies or something quite small like that, and then you're saying that you know all about Korea, South Korea, excuse me, that you know all about Korea just on that basis, no, I'm sorry. But at the same time, you don't have to learn all about the Korean history and all of that to be able to love that culture. Am I making sense? I've seen some people on YouTube while watching Koreaboo cringe compilations. Some people are trying to make themselves seem more Korean by wearing makeup that is more a typical Korean, South Korean look. And some people are bashing on them. And to be honest, I really don't see the problem in that. If someone wants to do their makeup like that, who are you to tell them they shouldn't, or if that makes them a Koreaboo? Like, seriously? Like, I just can't handle that, because you know what? People in Korea or in other Asian countries, they try to look more white, which I don't get why they do that, because they're beautiful the way they are. But, you know, wearing blue eye contacts, you know, coloring their hair and stuff, which I'm not saying is just a white thing, whitening their skin, all these things to make them look more white. And it's not just them, it's a lot of other countries as well. People can look the way they want to if they want to look that way. And who are you to stop them? I get that it can be a bit cringy and sometimes really annoying when someone is trying to be something they're not. But you can't tell them they can't do that, or hate on them because of that. Like, that's just really shallow. Relating to what I just said, I saw another person on YouTube, and I'm not going to name names or anything. Like, I'm not sending hate to anyone, really, I'm not. But this girl was talking about, like, if someone's race is like half something and half like Asian or half Korean, that people try to claim that they're Korean or claim that they're the Asian part more than what the other race they what other backgrounds they have. And I don't agree with that. I mean, a person's identity is, all of those backgrounds make them who they are. But if they want to claim that they're more of one than the other, that is totally up to them, because that's their choice and decision. I mean, for an example, me, I am like, I'm born here in Australia. I've lived here in Australia my whole life. And so some people would say, oh, you're like 100% Australian, but I'm not. I see myself as both Australian and Croatian, because my parents, my whole bloodline, all my ancestors, all of them are Croatian. And I've kind of learned about my family's culture growing up as well. And although I've lived solely here in Australia, born here in Australia, does not just make me Australian. And so I like to say that I'm Croatian. I'm both, but if I was to say I'm more Australian, or if I was to say I'm more Croatian than I am of the other one, that's my decision, because I choose who I want to see myself as. At the same time, if you're not Asian or Korean at all, and then you're claiming to be that you are, I'm not hating, but you need to accept that you're not of that race or of that background. And that's not to say that's a bad thing. You know, you are who you are, and you don't have to be of that race in order to enjoy that culture. A lot of people are hating on Koreaboos because they're trying to be more Korean, or like be Asian. I don't even know exactly what that means, but like be Asian when they're not, because obviously from this definition we see that it's a term for non-Korean people. Oh yeah, that's where I was going with this. Literally just had a mind blank. Yeah, so trying to physically make yourself be a race or something that you're not. Now, that is bad, and not just for the cringe part of like them trying to be Korean or something that they're not. And I feel like it's an actual mental issue. As an example, if you're Caucasian and you're trying to look Asian and like try to persuade yourself and others that you are Asian, that is not right. I mean, there is obviously issues here on self-image. If you're that person, you need to speak to a therapist or something. And I'm not saying that as a mean way. I mean, literally, if you were like sure that you are Asian or you are meant to be Asian and you're really not, there's actually something actually wrong with you. Moving on. Adopting mannerisms and speaking habits. Another thing, I don't think it is bad to adopt mannerisms or speaking habits. Going back to crossing the line of where is it okay and where is it not. Excuse me. Like mannerisms such as like for example, a typical Korean mannerism in their culture is to respect their elders, and that is, I find that that's actually important, and that's not necessarily just in the Korean culture, but I find like here in Australia not really like, I feel like it's not really like that. It's more like, you know, respect. I respect you, you respect me, no matter what, which I kind of agree on as well. But I feel like there also needs to be a certain level of respect when it comes to someone who's older than you. And I think adopting that mannerism is cool. I think adopting mannerisms, especially if they're good ones, like, why not? You know, isn't that the whole point of learning about other people who are different than you? You become more open-minded and understanding, and you take from other cultures. You know, every culture takes from each other's cultures things that would make themselves just better. And not only that, it just unites everyone as well. When it comes to speaking, this is another thing. Typically, a Koreaboo is someone who learns like a tiny bit of Korean and then says that they're fluent and tries to use it in their everyday language. Now, I think some hate towards this is actually really unnecessary. I know for a fact, I know there's this famous Koreaboo person on YouTube, and what they do on their channel is they speak in English and then they translate. They look Caucasian, that's their appearance, and then they speak English and then they translate exactly what they say in Korean. Now, I don't know about you, but that is pretty fluent. People are calling this girl Koreaboo because of that. I'm sorry. She spent her time and effort learning a new language. Why the hell can't she do that? In fact, it's probably better, because that means she's opening up her audiences to more than just English speakers, but also Korean speakers who can understand what she's saying. I'm not talking about the content of her videos. I'm just saying that if she is actually fluently speaking Korean, you're literally just hating on her for no reason other than probably being jealous that she can speak Korean and that you can't. It also can be cringy when someone tries to use certain Korean words in the everyday language, like oppa, 진짜, all that stuff. But that's also not bad, okay? And sometimes it is, because if your setting is like a public area and you're like using it to strangers, probably not a good idea, because one, they're probably, unless you're in Korea, they probably will not understand what you're saying anyway. So why are you trying to communicate to someone and waste your time in trying to tell them something that they can't understand? I know I do that. I actually use some random Korean phrases into my everyday language, but it's not like I use it everywhere, and I use it only within my family and like very close friends who are okay with that. It's not like like I said before, don't shove down your interests down other people's throat. My friends that respect my interests and are okay when I use them, and my K-pop friends that I have, they're okay with me using it because they understand what I'm doing and they're okay with it. At home, obviously, my family understands what I'm also saying, so they don't really care either. I mean, at home, I'm already speaking half Croatian, half English all the time. So now I'm just like adding a few Korean words into it. But it's not like I'm doing it obsessively, nor am I doing it like all the time or in public places. I think it's okay as long as you're doing it appropriately, in the appropriate time, in the appropriate place. I know some people use it like in their videos, and that one's also kind of like a area, because, you know, as I said before, why are you trying to, if you're using random Korean phrases and you're an English speaker, people that you're reaching to are probably mostly English speakers, and if they don't know Korean, you're telling them something and they just won't understand, and yeah. But if you're, let's say if you're a channel that focuses on like K-pop and like Korean stuff and you throw it in there, I think that's okay, but also don't use it excessively. I just don't get it. I really don't. I think overall the term Koreaboo is sometimes just used as a way to hate on someone. Definitely I understand the cringiness, but there are people that are literally just hating on others based on their behaviors. Like, I'm not saying I agree with certain behaviors. Like I said, trying to be someone that you're not, that you obviously are not. And I don't mean like things you can change. I mean, you can't be Korean if you are born and raised in the USA, for example. I mean, you should be happy with who you are. But when it comes to things like adopting mannerisms, trying to dress or put on makeup like a typical Korean look, you should be able to do that if you want, if that makes you happy, if that makes you confident. Why not? You know? And then there's people trying to tear other people down, like, you're not even Korean. How can you even use Korean makeup? Or, you only use Korean products on your face. Like, how dare you? Like, really? Like, you're hating on such unnecessary things, like, really. So I feel like a lot of people get labeled as a Koreaboo, but they're not even a Koreaboo. Like, people are just hating on them, and just because someone's passions towards that interest is a bit more excessive than other people, I don't feel like that's necessarily a bad thing. I feel like it's really only bad if it's harmful to that person themselves, or if they're being harmful to other people, as in being annoying, trying to make other people like what they like, just being that annoying. Also going to having preferences of people that you're attracted to. This doesn't just of people, just of anything. If you like something, just because it is related to something Korean or like Asian, or if you see an Asian person, you're just like, oh yeah, I love you because you're Asian. Like, that is very wrong. That is actually being racist, because you are literally prioritizing the racial aspect of an object or of a person, that to be like the number one thing when it shouldn't be. At the same time, remember, there's always that line. If you can have preferences, you can find Asian people just to be like someone you're attracted to naturally, and that's okay. That doesn't make you a Koreaboo. But it's only wrong when you're looking at that priority as like the number one and only thing for anything. Whereas when you're buying any product, or if you're buying food, or if you're looking to watch a movie, and you're just like, yep, only doing that, only gonna watch that, only like it, whatever, because it's Asian or Korean or whatever. And that's wrong. Also, there's like people that try to say, Koreaboo people that try to say that Korea is like the best place ever and stuff, and they only want to live in Korea, and everyone that's not Korean is irrelevant. Now that is firstly racist, because again, you're putting race as the number one priority there, and you saying that everything else is irrelevant, that is just so mean. Like, yes, of course, you can have your opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion, and you can really say, Korea is the best place to live in the world, because who knows, for you it might be the best place. It really depends where you're from, honestly, and where you grew up in, and you can have that opinion, but once you're like stating it as fact, that can become a problem. I think I've said everything I wanted to. Not sure how clear it was. I guess my underlying issue that I'm trying to get across is that, firstly, just stop hating on Koreaboos, or what you think a Koreaboo, I should say, what you think a Koreaboo is, because I think most of the time the hate is actually sometimes jealousy. Now I'm not saying cringing about it is the same as hating. Like, there's a difference. Like, of course you can feel a bit awkward towards someone and how obsessive they are on their interests. There's a difference between that, and there's a difference of actually hating on someone, and even to the point of sending death threats. No matter in what situation you're in, if you're sending death threats, you really need to reevaluate what you're doing, because that is very wrong. And if you didn't know, you can literally get fined, that sort of stuff, especially if the person does end up killing themselves because of you. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. Hating on someone just because their passions is a bit more excessive and more noticeable than you, just let them be happy. Just let them be happy if that's what makes them happy. Obviously, there is some aspects of a Koreaboo which is not okay, because it's harmful to themselves or to the people around them, and that's when it's not okay. But for the most part, if that's what makes them happy, just let them be happy, and you don't have to get all angry about it. Even if you think they're doing those things for attention, just let them go, because there's no point in you getting angry or aggressive towards them, because if they're doing it for attention, if they're getting the attention, that's just exactly what they want, and you're just giving them what they want. But if you just ignore them, obviously if it's just for attention, it's gonna die down anyway. This video has literally just been everywhere, like gone everywhere. So yes, I apologize if I've offended anyone. I just hope what I've been trying to say has just come out clearly in the way I wanted. I've lesson learned. Try to plan what you're trying to say in your future videos. Yes, that's all for today. Let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me, or if you think I could have said something better, because I'd really like to know. So please comment down below. If you want me to cover any more topics of anything, let me know, and myself and Laila will try to both do it, but maybe we can't. Like, this video is just me. So yeah, I hope you all have a fantabulous day, night, wherever you are, whatever time it is. So yeah.